Nothing new here. Thank you, Nitin, for remembering that. Yeah. So, hello there, friends. I'm happy to be here with you. It's really good to have this session, and it's really good to meet you guys here. I really like TM people. I used to be a TM peep before, and I believe, like deep in my heart, that they are the best people in the entity. Like, I don't know, give or take, but they're the best. It's Mohammed Mukhlis, your AI VP, Platforms Manager. Wait, let me shift the screens. I think that's better. So I can look at you on host disabled participant screen sharing. Bro, I'm not a participant. Nitin, can you give me host access, please?
1 second. Sumedha, can you give the host access to Limitless?
Okay, so meanwhile, I'm Mohammed Mukhlis. Yes, screen. Okay. So I am Mohammed Mukhlis, your what? Yeah, your AI VP Platforms Manager. Oh, I forgot my title. Your AI VP Platforms Manager. I'm Platforms guy. If you have any problems with Expa, if you have any issues, yeah, don't say them now. It's fine. There is a space and time for them. You can text me personally to ask about these things. Probably I will just refer you to Expa support. But if I don't, if you have ideas, then yeah, you can continue texting me. For the purpose of this session, we're not going to talk about problems on Expa. We're going to talk about solutions and new things on Expa. So I hope you're excited. So yeah, but before starting, let's take a deep breath. Be mindful of where you are and what are you doing now. It's going to help you stay in focus of what's happening. It's a beautiful day, hopefully, where you are. And it's going to be a very interesting session. And I'm going to be telling you very unique things that I didn't tell to anyone else. But Americas, yes, like, yeah, 2 days ago. But it's only Americas and you guys. So get excited for that. Me and peeps are always late. So very simple check-in. I would like you to text in the chat and tell me which one are you. Are you super energetic? Are you active? Calm but alert? Tired or exhausted? You don't have to write the, oh, okay. Yeah, you can do it with the emojis on the resume. Calm but alert, calm but alert. Calm but alert is very good. A lot of super energetic people here as well. Active. Okay, we're gonna do another round by the end of the session to understand exactly how are you after the session, because probably I would like to see you all super energetic or excited, because this is what's gonna happen after the session, hopefully. But then let's start with the agenda. The agenda is very simple. Where I'm going to give you a small introduction, brief introduction, and then I'm going to go through recruitment features, positions features, and then 10 minutes just to take some questions regarding anything and give you a couple of tips of what to keep in mind. Okay. So why features? Why are we talking about features, and why are we talking about the platforms? Because it's very simple. Platforms are here to solve and to connect. Like, they're there to have a connection and for us to have efficiency in place. We can do recruitment on a piece of paper. It is doable and it's fine, but it's not going to scale up. It's not going to connect us all together. It's not going to make me work on some recruitment profile and then communicate that with another person. It wouldn't give me the data that I want every time I want it. I'd have to go to the papers and count how many people I recruited. So having a tech solution or a platform, it helps a lot with that. And why are we having this space? Well, I'm happy to ask, because membership experience is going to be is now a product. It's not going to be a product. Is now a product, and it has all the things. It has the business model. It has the return of talent investment MOS. It has a key process in place and key resources in place. And with that being said, we need to consolidate and track all the information and the essential KPIs. And by what? By the platform. So it all connects now, right? What the platform does, what is happening right now with the organization when it comes to membership experience, and in turn, what do we need to do on our platform? And with that in mind, we started working on a couple of features, all in one umbrella called the Human Resources Information System. It's basically the integration of all the HR activities when it comes to recruitment, performance, productivity, and so on and so forth on an information system to manage all the data in one place. And these were the bottom line projects for the term 2021. Are, not were. There was entity goal setting, which is a feature for entities to set their own goals and for us to track them on the platform. There was ISEC Hub, which is the educational hub with a materials hub and everything. And then there's the membership analytics, which includes more things, but this is the membership analytics part is part of the HRIS. And then we already have the Resource Center Hub. It is already there. We're working on a lot of improvements regarding it because of the current state of the feature itself. But meanwhile, as we do that, we shifted our focus to be in other places. So for now, the isaac-hub.squarespace.com will be updated and will be accessible when it comes to all the data for easier access until the feature itself is in a much better state. And we have entity goal settings feature. Again, this was an iteration of the process of creating that feature. It has to be done manually by the entities themselves to upload their goals and everything. But then if done, you can check the analytics of it through Expo. And then that moves us to the third, which was membership analytics, but now it's going to be membership features. For the sake of this space, I'll be talking about both membership analytics and all the other super exciting membership features. So I hope you're ready for it. And this brings us to the more exciting part. This is the time where I go through the features one by one for the first time in front of you guys and show you what? Yeah, and show you exactly what we have been working on for the past period. Bear in mind that this, whatever you're going to see now is not something that you can access right now on Expo. So if you go to Expo and not find it, don't be surprised. This is on the staging environment or like the Expo that I use for beta testing. Only I have access to that as well as the developers. So I'm giving you a sneak peek of what's happening behind the scenes. But all of this is functional. These are not designs. These are actually developed. So they are within the last phases of rollout. So hopefully soon you'll get to see them in action and get to use them. Cool. So I hope you're super excited. Let's begin with the recruitment feature itself. So recruitment feature basically is running the full recruitment flow on the platform. Simple as that. You can access it. I'll go through how you access it and how you use it fully. So you can access it through opening Expo and going to the committees page, committees tab on the left. You'll find three things now instead of one. You'll find committees, which you are well aware of. You'll find positions, which is something exciting and new, but I'm not going to cover it right now. And there's member leads. And member leads is where we want to go. When it comes to member leads, you'll find the list very similar to the CRM for people and as well as opportunities. You'll find all the member leads that you're getting live. So this is connected to YOP. I can show you YOP in the end, but YOP has a membership landing page. It has all the information, all the different roles people can take, and it has a sign-up form. The sign-up form connects the people here. That's one. You can also, on the upper right corner, I don't think you see my cursor, but on the upper right corner, you can see an add lead, where if you want to add someone manually, you can still do so from the platform. there are filters that you can apply when it comes to who is managing the EP, sorry, not the EP, the member, who's, what status are they in, the background employment status of them when they fill the form, how were they referred, the academic level, lead created via, like how were they created, and then whether through EXPA or YOP, when were they last updated, and when were they created. And then you would find different switch views. So there is the list view, but I prefer the Kanban view, which is like this. So the cool thing about the Kanban view, which is very cool, is that you can drag and drop the applicant tickets to change their status. So if I select test lead nurturing 1 from new lead to contacted, they will become contacted in their status as well. So that's very intuitive and good, hopefully. But there's nothing different when it comes to the filters and everything. It's the same thing. Someone's excited about Kanban. Thank you, Singapore. And then once you click on the ticket, you will be greeted with this, which is the profile of the member. You will find all the details about the member when it comes to their information that they filled throughout the form. And then on the left, you will find the status. So bear in mind that the status can be changed from one step to the other. So if the person is new lead, you will have the access to change them to contacted. If they're contacted, you will have the access to change them into in progress, and so on and so forth. And from in progress, you can actually move them to recruited, but there's something super exciting with there. I'll show it to you in a second. Underneath that, you can assign managers. So as you can see, you can assign the manager for that particular person. And then there are other tabs on the place on the right, and I'll go through them now. So there's timeline. The timeline is very cool because it shows you when was that person's status changed and by who. So it gives you a visualization of the process time. It gives you a visualization of who did what action when. So it gives you that information. The checklist is very interesting as well. So as an MC, you can set a checklist of extra questions that you would like to ask the applicant and would like to check for. So for example, if you want to check if that person is an actual human being, you can go to your entities page, which your committees page, and then you can write down checklist and it will apply to all your LCs. So is this person a human being? And then the information about it is like, hey, just check that that person is an actual human being, is not a robot. So you can ask them, and in the in progress, in the in process status, you can actually edit and change it. Okay. Thank you for the beautiful laugh. And then the notes is where it gets exciting as well, where you can leave notes and the note will be left with the date and who wrote the note. So you guys can keep notes about the people. The notes are not sent to the people themselves. They're just kept in the profile for you to check. And it will help you out with the recruitment instead of writing notes on a paper and then having to contact people and let them know, hey, this guy was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's also one more thing, which is called roles. It shows all the old roles of the people. It doesn't apply for the status because, yeah, like all of these people are new recruits, but hopefully down the line with new exciting features, we'll be able to have team leader applications, VP applications, whatever it is on the platform as well. But that's further down the line. It was not developed, something still in ideation, and hopefully soon we will have that connection. Cool. Wait. Oh, so remember when I told you something very exciting when it comes to moving people from in process to recruited? Now here's the deal. No one can get recruited unless they are allocated a role on Expo. So now whenever you move someone to recruited, you will get greeted with this modal where you add them to their LC. So you don't have to go to the committees page and go to manage committee and then find the year, find the team and everything. But instead you just do it from the recruitment page. So it's an all-in-one cohesive experience for the person to move from a lead to becoming a recruited person with access to Expa. It's pretty simple. I will go through it in the positions feature in a couple of minutes. but this all has changed. As you can see, it doesn't look this similar to the old positions feature because it has changed, and I'll go through it deeply in a while. But yeah, keep that in mind. And with that, you finish the recruitment flow and moving us forward to the next feature, which is the position analytics feature. And then skip right ahead to it. If you go to the analytics tab, you will find something new, which is called position analytics. And position analytics, as it might seem, is basically all the positions that you have in your entity, in the organization, I'm sorry, in analytics. It's very simple, but I'll go through it nonetheless. You can choose the entity that you want to analyze. For this example, I chose ISK International, as you can see from the filters. You can choose the roles. So I want to choose LCPs, global board members or national board members, GST members, GST leaders, AI VPs. These are the people that I want to check as per the filters. I can check departments as well. IGV, IGTE, IGTA. There are other departments as well, like BD. Okay, I just muted you. So you can check the department as well. There are all the departments listed there: finances, IM, BD, and so on and so forth. And then you can check with the status as well, like are they active? Did they complete their experience, or were they terminated? These are the three options that are there. I hope they make sense. Active means that they have an active role in EXPA. Completed means that they completed their experience by filling the LDA for their membership experience. And terminated means that, well, they got terminated, sadly, as well as filtering from the backgrounds, which is, what backgrounds they have when they got recruited. So, for example, if someone has industrial engineering as their background or has pharmaceuticals as their background, then you can filter for that if you're looking for some specific profiles. Once you click on the number that is here, will get us to our next feature. Actually, is it our next feature? I'm not sure. It will get us to our next part of the feature. If you go to click on that number or go through this flow to the positions and positions CRM, let's say, or list, you will find all the members within your entity. You will be able to open the modal, check them, and you can terminate them if you have the access. You can see what roles do they have, when are their roles expiring, and so on and so forth. You can apply as many filters as you can. It's pretty simple and pretty straightforward. Think of it as a member list, if I might say. Cool. So that's it regarding position analytics and position list, or members list, which takes us to the last, but definitely not the least feature. But before going through with that, I need to tell you something. This is still an improvement. So I like this feature so much that I cannot stop improving it. It was done, but then I am asking the developers to do some more modifications and make it better, just to make the scope much more wide and for it to apply to everyone. But Mohan, you're hyped now. You're supposed to be hyped from the beginning of the session, man. But yeah, you should be hyped. So I'll just go through with it. But again, this is up for a lot of change. So I'm gonna give you the glimpse of how it looks and how it functions now. Yeah, I gave a disclaimer after the session ends, so it's fine. So if you go to the committees page, I'm well aware that you know how to use it. And go to your committee, you will find manage committee. And this looks different. This doesn't look like the teams on the left and adding people on top and changing the entities and blah, blah, blah. It's not happening anymore. So now it's very simple. You can just select the term, which is the year, or like the term of the MC, LC, or like regional office or AI. These are the 4 different types of offices. You will find the roles written up top. So PAI is going to be for AI office. For MCs, you're going to find MCP. Like it's not going to be PI for everyone. And then you can allocate the president, and then you can go through. So there can only be one president. It's not something that is up for debate. And then you can go through departments. So the cool thing is that you will find this empty. So this is not going to be full or filled. There is not going to be any departments or anything. And once you add a team leader for the department or a VP for the department will be created. So if you click on the Add AI VP, you'll be greeted by this modal. You can set the title for the person. The role is going to be pre-selected for you since you are adding an AI VP, and then you will select the department. This will help with the position analytics, and this will help create the department itself and the functionalities of the department. The changes that we introduce again is with the duration. So instead of writing the start date and end date, you're going to write the start date, and then there are fixed durations for the experiences. So there's either 6 months, 3 months for smaller experiences, and 1 year for larger experiences. And then it's very simple. You just write the email of the person. If the person already has access to Expo, they will be given that position using that email. If they don't have access to Expo, once you click submit, they will be sent an email to log into Expo and create their password. Very simple, very straightforward. So whatever email you write here is either going to get the access, or they're going to get an email to prompt them to actually log into Expo. Cool. Once you create an AI VP, you're going to be greeted with this table. This table is basically the team leaders as well as the members. For an LC, it's going to be VP, LC VP, team leaders and members. And for the rest of the structures, it's going to be mainly ES team leader and ES team member. GS team leader, GS team member, and RS team member and RS team leader. That applies for entities. But hey, what if we have a multi-layer structure? What are we going to do? Because a lot of entities have that. That's fine. If you add another AI VP in the same department, they're going to be here as well, and they will have another table underneath them with their GS team leaders and team members. If you have multiple LCVPs in the same LC for the same function, that applies too. But that's another cue that I will change when it comes to the user interface because it's not the best. So I'll make it inside the department, part. Anyway, so when you select either a member or a GS team, like a member or a team leader, you'll notice that the role as well as the department are pre-selected because you are adding that member to that specific department and that specific role. So there's not going to be any confusion there, adding people where they're not supposed to be added. So that's the main difference. And once you select, once you click on the name of the person, you'll be greeted with this profile modal. You still have the details about their role. So the title of the role itself, the department, so on and so forth, as well as who that person reports to. The timeline of their role, if they are active, and maybe later on when the membership experience is more conclusive on the platform, you will find other steps like, for example, onboarded or like performing or whatever it is. We have down the line, and then on the bottom left corner, you will find that that position has that position ended, or you want to end that position. You can terminate that position whenever you need if you have access to do so. On the upper right corner, you have different tabs. These are pretty simple. The profile as well is very similar to the one we saw in the recruitment, which is, this one is the profile. You already know it. But when it comes to the membership, is where things are cool, because here you can see all the old roles that person has as well. And once they fill their LDA, you will be able to see their LDA results here as well. So you'll be able to see the leadership journey of that person and what kind of experiences did they go through, as well as what are their old roles and what are their active roles. One small disclaimer is that if that person holds multiple roles, he will have the permissions on the platform of the highest role they have. So if I am an AI VP and I have an LC role as well as an MC role, I will have the AI VP roles permissions on the platform. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. But yeah, this is the position allocation feature, or like the positions feature when it's revamped. Again, there are some improvements that I'm working on. One of these improvements is adding department names, because now the departments are with their function. As you can see here, you can just select the department function, but I want to give the option to give people the option to actually write the department name. So if someone's department is called IGTA is the best, they can do so, and they have all the freedom to do so. So yeah, actually in this case, it's DM is the best, but you have the option to do so. So that's something I'm still working on in the next couple of weeks. So look forward for that. And now for the things to keep in mind. So it's pretty simple. I already covered it. The position allocation is not final. Some changes will be introduced to the structure, as well as how to use it. Don't worry about it. This is something for you to own up to the features. This is the space for you to understand, ask questions, give feedback, and so on and so forth. So for us to have a much smoother onboarding on the features. But again, I will give you another onboarding one way or another. Once the position allocation is finalized, you can expect the following. So there's a rollout of that feature in particular. The other features are fine because we're doing them from scratch. But when it comes to position allocation, we already have positions on Expo. It's not the best, but we already have it. So that calls for change management. So currently, with the state of how positions are, people can create as many teams as they want and create as whatever structure that they want to create. And it is very difficult to migrate to the new feature, which gave us the problem of how we're going to do so. And after looking for solutions, we found this one. So we will transfer all the EB roles of all offices. So there is an EB team on Expo. This EB team will be transferred to the new allocation. So there is a president who's going to stay a president, and everybody underneath that president will be allocated as LCVPs or AI VPs or MCVPs and so on and so forth. Once we do so, we will send an email to all the active users of the platform and tell them that they might lose access to Expo, since we will not be able to transfer anyone but the EB. After we let people know via email, we're gonna also tell them that they should approach their EB teams to assign them roles. Expo customer support, the developers, AI VPs, or your MC for the LCs will not do so, because it's just too much work and it's too much diverse roles and diverse hierarchies. Handling those through a centralized way is going to be very difficult. So people already have the access, will already have the access to do so. And it's very simple, as you can see. I will give a step-by-step process of how to do so. So simply, it is your responsibility or the EB team's responsibilities to assign Expo roles when we have that shift. I will let you guys know, don't worry about it, and I will give you the step-by-step process to downscale to the people as much as you can for people to be able to do so. There might be a bit of frustration, there might be a bit of lost potatoes now and then, but it's okay. Being a lost potato was never a bad thing. It's just how we can move people towards just giving them roles where it's going to be good. So if there is any frustration, feel free to contact Expo Support or me. Expo Support is doing an amazing job so far. So hopefully you can see that. And yeah, if you have any feedback, you can tell me. But now it comes to the question side. So I'm just happy here so I can look at you and you can see me looking at you. And unmute your mic. Someone raised their hand. Yes, you can unmute your mic and ask the question. Or you can text the question if you are not comfortable, right?
I have some questions.
Sure.
So when will this transference of the current EB's data happen?
Oh, wait, again, I'm sorry.
So when will you be transferring these current active EB roles into the new system? So when will that
happen? Are you asking when? How will that happen? When will that happen? So within, okay, so currently the features, as you can see, are already developed. What's happening now with the feature rollout? Yeah, the timelines of everything. Okay, everybody's asking. So these are more connected to the business side of things. So once Nee gives the go when it comes to the recruitment, once she has a downscaling plan and has an implementation plan for the recruitment, we will be able to shift all of these things to the development of like the active environment that we already have, which is Expo you can access. So this is something either way is going to be downscaled through Nee. So don't worry about it. That's regarding the recruitment and positions and everything. When it comes to the shifting of EB access and everything, also other than me, I will send an email when it comes to everything, and I will have proper communication either through the regions or through email or the MCPs group or however it is that I will be able to reach everyone and let everyone know that this is going to happen, the position shift is going to happen. I will give you the education material as well for you to be able to actually assign the positions. So it's not going to happen like this. Cool. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. So another question is like, I'm just curious. So during the transference of like that data, will our past rows data will also be kept?
Past rows.
Yeah.
So for the people themselves, the past rows is still there, but for the position allocation, which is going to be on, which you can access through getting all years. Yeah, for example, if you go to ISIC in Myanmar and then check for the year 1617, you're not going to find the people. So the roles are not going to be there because of the same issue of migration that we're talking about. But we can shift the EB if that's absolutely necessary, but all of these roles are already terminated, so it doesn't matter. But the history of the roles is going to stay with the person themselves if they were allocated the role. I hope that answers the questions. More questions, peeps. So the people that already posted some questions, when will it all happen, the time is and everything, I think I covered your questions. When it comes to the recruitment features, you mentioned we will be able to add one lead manually. Would it be also to add a list of leads? I think it would be super cool. Well, it actually will be super cool. So this is not something that is developed, but it's highly depends on when in the recruitment timeline we'll be launching this feature. So if we launch it pre-recruitment timeline and then we have the education material for it ready, people start using it, I don't think it's going to be that necessary. If we do it midway, I think it would be necessary, but at the same time, we will have to develop it and put resources into doing that. So far it's not there, but it makes sense if it's done later. But for now, it's one lead manually. Is the recruitment feature only for members that, is the recruitment feature only for members that will, or will that include manager and new recruitment? For now, it's only members, new members. As you can see, because you can only access it through YOP. But further down the line, as I said, we have the roles tab in order for us to see the old roles of people. So we will build something for people applying for EBs and team leaders and so on and so forth. But it's still not scoped and it's still not created. So don't expect it now. So if we start recruitment in August, we will be able to using 3 features. Again, when it comes to the timeline, since people were asking as well, this is not within my hands. I am the platforms manager, I make it happen. But the business side of things, when it comes to the program manager, these are the people who have the say into when is this used and how. So yeah, like don't put pressure on them either. Like I'm not telling you to go tell them, hey, let us use it. I think they have a strategy and they have a ways forward. So put your trust in these people and hopefully they will give you the best. Yeah, but I can't wait for you guys to use it. As you can see, I'm super excited. I don't know, maybe for you, I'm not super excited, but for myself, I'm very excited. I saw in the positions feature, you can add TLs and VPs and members. Will be there any area to add? What? Would there be any area to add their LC for us to make sure we know what is their LC allocation as well? Juan, I don't understand your question. Can you unmute and say? Yeah.
Can you go back to the specific slide where you have the positions feature? Okay, the next one.
Yes.
So it shows you the role, like in this case, GSTTL, and that person has members. So it shows you who are in that person's team. But when it comes to the specific LCs, will the VPs be under that NCVP in this case, as far as the structure, and how will we know what their allocation from their LCs is, if it is just TL and members?
I'm sorry, I couldn't get the question either. Okay, so you're asking how can you allocate the LC of the person, or how can you check the LC?
Both.
Okay, so as you can see, yeah, so as you can see here, if you open the profile of the person, you will find which LC did they come from and what entity. So test user is from Chennai, India, and this is the user's ID. The role is ICK, I'm sorry, the office that you are accessing them through is called ICK International Null, because that's a testing environment, and that's the office ID as well. And then you can, if you open the profile, the membership, you will find all the old roles. So if they had an LC role, you will find the LC role and what they did in the LC, as well as the current roles and everything. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so just to summarize, we will need to actually click on that person's profile to see what their LC is, right?
Yes, you can click on the person's profile to access everything about that person, because our approach regarding the design here is for it to be as compact and as information packed as possible, as well as simple. So you wouldn't need to see the person's LC every time you open the hierarchy here, or the managing the committee, but you would need to see the person's name. If you want to see their LCs, you can click on them and check them out. Perfect. More questions, peeps? We still have time in the session, so I can, okay. Natalia, Juan already asked, so Natalia, I have a question that may be stupid, but sorry, it's fine. There are no stupid questions. What if my entity used Podio and stores pretty much the same information? The expert feature will still need some time to be finalized, but will it be obligatory? Again, this is on the business side. You can talk with this about this with me. I know that there are Podio integrations and Podio forms that are already there. My entity used to have it as well. Like most of the entities, I think they have those solutions because there were no global solutions for recruitment. But for the sake of data gathering, as well as for the sake of having everything tracked on the platform, I think at some point you will have to do so on the platform, because it's very similar to Exchange. So you can do Exchange on Podio because it's basically a flow of having a form and having a process. But would it count as an exchange on globally? No, it wouldn't. You will have to go through the same flow on the platform. So that's what happens usually when you come to centralized things. But yeah, I hope that answers your question, because it is a program now, so it has to be done, managed or governed globally. Thanks, Natalia, for the amazing question. Okay, more questions.
I have a small, like I'm a bit confused on this.
Yep.
So we are kind of we kind of did the recruitment, and right now we are assigning positions for our members and in committees and for TLs and all. So in Expa, I hope you get. So will after this platform launch and the changes, like, do we have to reassign these people to positions?
It's very unfortunate, but it's true.
Okay, all right. So will this during these times, will the ISEC emails, will they work or not? Like,
Yeah, the ISEC emails are not connected to the positions themselves. So if they have generated their ISEC emails, the ISEC emails will stay working. As you can tell, even if you don't have a role an active role in the organization, your ISEC email still works. So they're not connected. So don't worry about that. But their access to Expo will be revoked. So you'll have to give them access again. It's unfortunate,
Okay.
but it is how it is. I'm sorry.
all right. So like, so for the newbies, then till the platform is launching, they won't be having ISEC emails, right? Because like we finished the recruitment. So for the newbies, they won't be getting ISEC emails till the platform launched. Is that so?
Okay, so here's a couple of things. I'll just clear it up. So once you allocate someone on Expo, so there's a lot of plus ones. Okay, wait, I didn't read. Just give me a second. I'll answer this question first and then I'll read. So once you assign someone a role on Expo, they have access on Expo. Once they have access on Expo, they can generate their ISEC email and then log into that email and use it. If using an ISEC email is very important for your entity, then you will have to do so in order for the people to start performing. If the recruitment is not launched now. If the recruitment is launched now, you will have to opt out for a minute until we have the new position allocation, and then you will assign them. So in order for you to skip the reassignment thing. But either works. You just need to handle the timeline when it comes to the launching of these things with the person responsible, which is going to be either Julia or me. Is it okay? Thank you. Okay, just a small expectation. Once it's launched, it would be amazing if we again have a space with you to discuss, so we can exactly find out where we are getting lost and where we're confused, and we could come up with more relevant queries. Perfect. Yes, we can have a space right there. Again, I'm taking as much questions as possible now because I would like to understand. I would like to be more proactive than reactive, because at the time where we actually launch things, I'll be very reactive. Once you tell me, hey, this doesn't work, what is going to be an issue? Because it is going to stay the way it is until I work on a solution and I work on a develop a fix and then launch that fix. So it is going to take time, more time then. But definitely we will have another space and you will have as much questions and onboarding as you would like. Hopefully face-to-face, and if there is no space for it or we can't fix the calendar or space for it, we can do that through education material and having maybe a very big group chat with me in the middle, where you can ask all your questions and I can answer. But let's see how we can do that. I see a lot of people approving with that, and I agree it's a very good thing to do, especially once everything's finalized. Yeah. Cool. What time is it? Oh. Nitin, are we put past our time already?
No more, please. We have 12 minutes more.
12 minutes more. Okay, perfect. Do you guys want to just chill for the next 12 minutes?
I have a concern.
Yeah.
So, hello, by the way. Hi, I'm Shreya. I'm from India. And
Hi,
I'm also part of the steering team, but someone just addressed this concern, so I will bring it forward, is especially in country like India, where there are like 3,000 members now, we face a lot of expa issues with the bugs. And to shift everything on expa, and while this all change management would be happening, I am sure there is a plan out there, and I'm sure we'll follow it and everything will be fine. But just to make it smooth, I just wanted to put this concern forward that it delays. Even the ISEC.NET IDs were made till April, which delayed a lot of things for us. So that's why it's just a small concern, and if maybe we can look into it, I think that can help.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
So I'll give you, yeah, you're welcome. I'll give you a small explanation. I knew someone would say Expo is not working, but it's okay. It was you, Shreya, so it's fine. So simply put forward, Expa is, okay, so Expa is technically working. Having issues is something that is very, 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 very common. Not in Expa, but in all technical products. It's the variation of how many issues you have that defines different products. So Facebook still has issues and people still have bugs, but because they have an amazing, huge tech team, they are able to manage it without people noticing much. Which brings us to the state of the people managing Expo, which is not a huge Facebook tech team, but a development house that we are working with for past years. We are trying our best. We have Cedar in place. We have GSTs in place to manage all the queries and all the problems, but it comes with the reality of the vast network that we have, that there are a lot of issues. We are working on fixing them. I have one of my main MOSs that I keep track of is how many issues are there, the solution time of any issues that are sent, how many bugs are escaped, how many bugs are not escaped. So this is something that I've really been focusing on this term, and I hope you can see the progress when it comes to that. So with shifting new features on the platform, I understand the possible frustration or possible, let's say, fear of having a lot of issues there. But this is frustration or fear that will come either way. But it would come with us improving our digital ecosystem and improving our process. So hopefully you guys, like, honestly, I'm giving it my best, and we are giving it our best when it comes to testing. We're doing new innovations when it comes to testing with all the new features and everything. So we're just trying to make sure that everything's on par and up to scale. With the vast majority of scale that we already have, like 3,000 people per one entity. Just imagine the kind of network that we're working with. So yeah, don't worry about it. If there is an issue, we'll fix it. If there is an issue that is not fixable, we'll let you know. But for now, everything's working perfectly. And after we launch it, everything will work perfectly. Let's just keep our fingers crossed. Thank you for the question, though.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. More questions? More questions, concerns, nothing regarding Expo not working, please. We already covered that for now. Answered a very long answer, but it was worth it. So it looks like you people need to chill. Not need to chill. I don't mean anything. This is not feedback. I mean, like, you want to chill because you have extra 10 minutes. So I'll just go through the last thing, which is going to be the questions form. So you can ask as many questions, because I understand that people, there's a lot of information that some of you might be processing. So you might not have a lot of questions right now. So please keep note of this bit.ly link. I could write it down. Someone could write it down in the chat so people can copy and paste it. Add your questions there. I would be, next few questions. I will make sure to answer those questions one way or another through someone or directly, if that is possible. But other than that, I think this is the end of our session. May you all have a beautiful day ahead of you. And I hope you're excited regarding these features. And yeah, you have some time to chill. Batuhan, you can take over, or like someone can take over, where let people know where they go.